If you're looking for ideas and inspiration of how you can use words and text in your art journal pages, then this bite-sized episode of the journaling workshop is for you. So first off, let's start with supplies. So pens and markers are obviously a great choice that you can use. There's loads of different colours and styles. I personally like the Unipin and the Tombow markers. You can get these in brush tips and also in fine liners. And I like to use these in different colours. So it's all about playing with different things that you like. So I'm not saying that you have to have these things, but I'm often asked what I use. Of course, pens and markers aren't the only way that you can add words and text to your journal pages. For a more vintage vibe, you could use an old typewriter. So this is one that I picked up fairly cheap from a charity shop, and it's great for adding a nostalgic twist to my pages. You could also add texture with different stamps. So these are a typewriter look and feel, but a little bit more accessible. Or you could also go more playful and have cut out words and letters from book pages, from magazines, and things that you find in everyday life. So whilst I show you here some nice close-up examples of how I'm incorporating words and quotes and text into my journals, I thought we could discuss 5 of my tips for approaching adding text to your journals. So when it comes to text, the font and the size that you choose can have quite a big impact on the overall feel of your page. So if you want something quite playful, you might choose a larger font, whereas if it's sort of a more elegant look that you're going for, you might choose something that is a lot more sleek and toned down. But obviously there's no rules when it comes to choosing how you add the text to your page. It's all about finding what works for you, but you might want to create sort of a different look and feel by playing with different sizes and different styles. So I guess it's all about experimenting and seeing how you can use the text as a visual element on your page. Which leads me to my second tip about using text to create visual interest on your page. So you don't even have to just use your text from top to bottom of your page. You could maybe write horizontally, vertically. You could add the text round as a border and play with the different placement of the text. I also like to mix up different fonts. You'll see here I have got some parts that are handwritten and then others that are stamped or that I've cut things out, and having that contrast between the fonts can create a really nice visual interest on my page. And it's also just something that's fun to do and has a nice result at the end of your journal page. Tip 3 would be to experiment with your handwriting and your lettering. Now, I know a common thing is people will say, well, I don't like my handwriting, but I think that, your handwriting is unique to you, and I would encourage you to not be afraid of using your handwriting in your journals, because at the end of the day, they are just for us anyway. So I think that adding handwritten notes and lettering quotes that you have enjoyed from a book or that you've seen in various places, it just adds a really nice charm and a personal touch. At the end of the day, it's all about practice as well. I haven't done any classes for the lettering that I do, and I don't think it's by any means perfect, but it is just all about practice. So using a felt marker, doing the wider downstrokes and the thinner upstrokes, you can kind of do a bit of a faux calligraphy with that. And yeah, it's just all about practice. But block lettering or using stamps, using your cutout words is also a way that you can start to add textual elements without the pressure of necessarily putting pen to paper and adding writing in your journal. My fourth tip and idea for you would be to create shapes or patterns with your text and just think about how you can use it as a design element. So maybe it's a focal point on your page, like you see here with the bold text against my image, and I've kind of gone along the contour of the flower, or you can experiment with different colours, adding shadows, adding gradients. and just to see how you can use it as a design element within your page. You'll be surprised at how many different sort of combinations you can come up with. Another tip for adding words to your journals is to think about the spacing and where you're adding the text onto your page. So is it on the left hand side of your page, to the right? Does it create balance or symmetry on the page? Have you used like consistent spacing between letters? Is it more spread out? Are there line breaks? There's so many different ways that you can add different quotes and phrases to your journals. So I hope this has given you some ideas for how you can do this in your own art journals. And I'll see you guys in next week's journaling workshop video where we'll be looking at negative space. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!